When will Benjamin Netanyahu stop? When will the Israeli Prime Minister agree to a ceasefire? In the last 24 hours, more than 100 people have been killed in the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza. Many of them are women and children. There are dozens who are still missing. In the last 24 hours, details have also emerged of Israeli hostages being killed by the Israeli military, the IDF. It happened on Friday. The 3 hostages had managed to escape their Hamas captors. They were in Gaza City's Shejaya neighborhood. One of the Israeli troops spotted 3 men who were exiting the building. The troops grew wary, suspicious. All 3 men were shirtless. One of them was carrying a stick with a makeshift white flag, white being the color of truce and peace. The 3 hostages were trying to send a message that they were harmless. If anything, they needed help. It was an SOS call. They were moving towards the Israeli soldiers, hoping that the soldier would help them return to their home, to Israel. Instead, the soldier opened fire. 2 of them died on spot. The 3rd hostage ran back to the building from which he had escaped. He started shouting, "Help," in Hebrew. Other soldiers in the area heard the cry for help. Moments later, when the 3rd hostage came out of the building, another soldier opened fire at him. He too was killed. The details of this IDF shooting hostages have sent shockwaves through Israel. Why did Israeli troops murder their own? The IDF says the soldiers thought that the 3 hostages were being used by Hamas to lure the IDF into a trap. Both the situation in Jabalia and the grim details of these hostages being killed point at the question that I'm asking you tonight. When will all of this stop? When will Netanyahu stop the war? The families of the hostages want Netanyahu to do more to bring their loved ones back home. Remember, 130 hostages are still in Gaza. Their families are accusing the Israeli military of abandoning the hostages, quote unquote, murdering them. The Prime Minister is being called out for ignoring the hostages left behind, for whipping up the war narrative again and again. Over the weekend, Israel released the footage of what it claims is a newly discovered tunnel. Take a look.
During our main meeting, we are going to enter to the biggest tunnel we found in Gaza, the biggest secret of Sinwar, his project, his subterranean tunnel project. We're going to enter. It was a secret that we have revealed that was meant to target the crossing.
This is Hamas. This is why we have to defeat Hamas. And it takes time, because when we need to demolish this kind of tunnels and reveal and demolish, it takes time.
Here's another video. It's difficult to verify when it was shot. The IDF claims the man in the video is Mohammed Sinwar. Who is he? The right-hand man and brother of Gaza chief Yahya Sinwar. The IDF claims the video shows Mohammed being driven through a giant underground tunnel in Gaza. These videos help Israel's war narrative. They help Israel to justify the bombing of Gaza, or so Israel hopes. But the fact is, the war is becoming hard to sell. There is growing pressure from the West. Countries are calling for a sustainable ceasefire. France, for example, is calling for an immediate and durable truce. Netanyahu is losing international support. Today, countries at the UN Security Council are voting on a new resolution demanding a ceasefire. This resolution talks about, quote-unquote, urgent and sustainable cessation of hostilities to allow for safe and unhindered humanitarian access in the Gaza Strip. The United States had vetoed the previous resolution. Will Washington take a different road this time? Remember, all's not well between Biden and Bibi. Biden has told Netanyahu to change, even warned him about losing international support. But Netanyahu is determined to continue a long war. His key objective is to destroy Hamas, also to hold on to power. He has promised to continue fighting until absolute victory is achieved. Quick question, is Netanyahu's end goal even achievable? Consider this, it's been 2 months since the Gaza war began and Hamas is still fighting. There is a good chance that Netanyahu may not be able to eliminate Hamas any time in the near future, but in the process, his quest will expand the Gaza war all the way from Yemen to Lebanon. There are already reports of Israel opening a new front in the war. The Israeli military has reportedly drawn up plans to attack southern Gaza. Why? The IDF says it wants to drive Hezbollah forces to the north. We are talking beyond the Litani River. Then, you have the Houthis. Their attacks in the Red Sea have made the water a no-go zone for commercial ships. The Red Sea is among the world's most important oil routes. On Saturday alone, the US claims to have shot down 14 Houthi drones in these dangerous waters. At least 7 shipping companies have said that they will be diverting their ships from the Red Sea. This includes the world's largest shipping group, MSC, or the Mediterranean Shipping Company, the Danish shipping giant Maersk, and German Hapag-Lloyd. You see, Red Sea shipping has now become a casualty in the Gaza war. And you and I will be paying the price for this, quite literally. Let's face it, the Red Sea is not going to get any safer till Israel de-escalates. Houthis have vowed to stand with Hamas in the war. They won't stop until Israel stops the war or calls for a ceasefire. Reports quoting Egyptian security sources say Israel and Hamas are open to a new ceasefire agreement. So what's coming in the way of this big announcement? Qatar and Egypt insist that aid shipments into Gaza be expedited. They also want Israel to reopen the Kerem Shalom crossing. Hamas wants Israel to withdraw to preset lines. The group also wants to decide which hostages will be released as part of the ceasefire. Israel has rejected the prospect of withdrawal. As for the hostages, Israel wants a list before it can agree to the time and duration of the ceasefire. You see, the final decision on whether or not to escalate the war rests with Netanyahu. So what will he do? Stop the war or continue to pay the price for it? WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.